if we can somehow extract what is positive from what is called religion, that it leads us to ideas such as fraternity, unity, oneness, compassion, and do you not find connections between what you have learned in neuroscience and what you have learned from studying sort of Buddhism?
Oh yeah, yeah. The connections are very direct, but
how they know that stuff?
But we don't want just because it's just the nature of consciousness. You're talking about people who spent, especially in the Buddhist case, just an incredible amount of time studying from the first person side what experience is like, what its character is. The central claim of Buddhism is not just Buddhism, but Buddhism, and I would put several of the Indian traditions like Advaita Vedanta in there, with the central claim is that the self is an illusion. The ego is an illusion. And when I say self, I don't mean that people are illusions. I mean that the sense that you have a subject riding around in your head thinking your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
That there's a thinker in addition to the thoughts. That's an illusion.
Yes.
And that makes perfect sense neurologically because there's no place in the brain for your ego to be sitting. There's no central place where everything comes together. There's no unchanging center in the brain. You're just talking about a cascade of neurophysiology, and everything is distributed everywhere. And it's not, and there are various parts of the brain that are coming online and off and subserving conscious states, and not. It's a process. And if you could experience consciousness as a flow of sensory and emotional and interoceptive experience without the sense that there's an unchanging center riding around on that flow, right? Oh. Like a man in a boat on the stream of consciousness.
Yes.
If you could experience that consciousness without that, that would be an experience that is much more coincident with what we understand neurologically. That would be to experience something that is more true from the third person brain-based, what do we see inside the head side. And it just so happens you can experience that. That is what meditation is like when you really know how to meditate. This sense that there's a meditator in the head strategically paying attention to experience rather than just pure experience, that drops away, right? So that's one piece of data in favor of introspection here, and it's not a piece that the Western intellectual tradition or the Western spiritual tradition ever got a good handle on. I mean, so yes, you can find specific Christian and Jewish and Muslim mystics making these noises, but when they make these noises sufficiently, they start to sound like Buddhists, and their co-religionists want to kill them rather often, right?
Yes, and not only the co-religionists, the powerful entities within nation states and economic. Like if people start believing they're not individuals, it's very hard to market at them.